One of the things that I did a couple of days ago and I fear I might have offended him as I asked the question. I really didn't intend to, but I called up a friend of mine who's a law enforcement officer. As all of this was starting up, and I asked him the question, am I missing something? Like, is there, like, in terms of, with George Floyd's death, were the techniques that were used on him, were they appropriate? Were they standard for law enforcement? And was there, might there have been some other intervening factor involved? Like, did he have a heart condition or something like that? But was what they were doing, was it appropriate? And he got into some of the details as far as what they did and the like. Long and short of it was no. It was not standard practice what they were doing. It was not approved tactics. Basically, what was happening was you had individuals who either did not receive the training they needed, or were ignoring it, or something along those lines. George Floyd died an unjust death at their hands, and was kind of what it ended up being. He suffered. But I'll just say, I'm glad I asked the question. And I kind of wish that there were a lot of other questions that were being asked right now. As there are riots that are going on, as buildings are being burned, as shop owners are losing their livelihood, sometimes people who are small business owners, sometimes people who are minorities. There's a lot of questions that I think we could be asking that could slow down a lot of this. And as we see buildings and cities catch on fire, what stops the rampage? Asking questions. I see it with friends of mine all the time, with little kids, having their children come up to them as they're in the middle of a project, they're looking to get something done, and their son or daughter says, "Well, why? Well, why? Well, why?" And sometimes the kids are asking good questions. Sometimes the kids are asking questions that are just sort of like, it's just inquisitive, or sometimes they're, just being persnickety. But whenever we ask questions, it slows things down. And especially when we talk about something as serious as the destruction of human life or property or livelihood, my gosh, if something like that's happening, there are situations where, especially in terms of self-defense, intentional killing, you can do it, but boy, you better have thought it out ahead of time. And so as all this is going on, understanding that people have a variety of emotions that are welling up within them, that use of the human intellect, that thinking of questions, that's something that's really important. It can slow us down, can help us to make good decisions and to decide whether or not is what I'm doing just or unjust. Should I support it or not? And to what degree? And what should my role be in all of this? And I think it's a very human thing to do. You all take care.